These niggas out here snitching, they with the rat pack. Hit them with the chopper, that's the rat trap. Find them in that trash bag off the interstate.
Hello and welcome to this series on my channel where I talk about a robot and y'all fry me in the comments. Today, we're going to be talking about the champion from the pits of Chaos, Megatron. If you've been on the channel long enough, you know I have a very specific taste when it comes to Megatron's character. He needs to be tough, manipulative, intimidating, have a god complex, and just downright evil. He hates a lot of things and doesn't particularly like anything. Each iteration has been adapted with unique and different character traits, so much so that no two Megatrons are alike. And that's what makes his character so much fun. Sometimes he's an evil psychopath, and sometimes he's a calm and manipulative villain. Sometimes he's portrayed more as a war general, and sometimes he's a powerhouse with a scheme. Each one of these portrayals are great in their own right. Not you! You get out of here! Leave! But here's the catch. While it is really fun to watch a Megatron whose only goal is to destroy the world, as a character, I think we could do a little more. I personally don't gravitate to the I want to take over the universe just because characterization, even if it is entertaining. Why do you even do that voice? I think the best adaptations are ones where he has realistic motives. There have been adaptations where the world domination motive has worked in context of the story they're trying to tell, and others where it makes Megatron come across as unintimidating.
Now I shall lead the Decepticons to victory, and the planet Cybertron will be all mine! It's time to turn it up!
And I feel like his character could be a little bit more complex than that. If his motive for taking over the universe is just because, it makes his character feel one-dimensional, but if you give him a real motive, it forces him to have another layer to his character. I don't read a lot of the comics, but one thing from the comics that I believe would complete him as a villain in the movies and TV shows is his drive to find equality for all lower class bots, but through extreme methods. In the comics, Megatron was a miner who witnessed the living conditions for bots who were essentially programmed to do the dirty work to build the infrastructure of Cybertron. This inspired him to want to climb the political ladder to change the lives of Cybertronians in his eyes. They kind of touch on this in the Netflix original series, but they didn't explore it as far as I hoped. His reasons are clear and obtainable, but his methods are also like really awful, so it solidifies him as a villain. And luckily for us, we don't really need to sympathize with Megatron. We just need to understand him. It is nice to have sympathy for a villain, but it's also like a lot of fun to have a villain you can't agree with on any level. And that's pretty much how Megatron's character should be written. D16 was almost #1, but while he is really cool with realistic motivations, he's not a fully developed Megatron just yet. He has no relationship with Starscream or Soundwave, no battle plans or schemes. The war hasn't even started yet. He's just a baby. That's for the next movie, but we may never get that, so we might just be stuck with this. Everybody who didn't go out there to watch that movie, I blame you! No, I don't blame you. I really blame the marketing. It's the marketing's fault. I don't blame y'all. Y'all are fine. It's the marketing. I believe Megatron from Transformers Robots in Disguise embodies almost every aspect of what Megatron. Please don't click off the video, I was playing around. But in all honesty, I believe Megatron from Transformers Prime embodies almost every aspect of what makes Megatron such a compelling villain. This version of Megatron is smart, intimidating, manipulative, straight up evil. He doesn't feel like a cardboard box, and he has realistic motivations. He was originally a gladiator who used the arena as a gateway to sway an audience into trusting him and listening to his ideology, which also caught the attention of Orion Pax. Both Orion and Megatron agreed that every Cybertronian deserved to be viewed as equal, except Megatron viewed the only way for equality to exist on Cybertron was through his rule. I do wish they had gone a little deeper, but the motive is there and it makes sense, so that's enough for me. Also, like I said earlier, it's great to have a Megatron that doesn't feel like a hollow shell spewing generic dialogue. I think this version's personality is perfect, and he has jokes that are actually funny.
Master, are you going to allow one lieutenant to harm another? Master?
I'm thinking.
I like that when he's really stressed, he's not trying to hide it.
Quickly!
But the most unique thing about this Megatron is how intelligent he is. I'm really glad he's not a bumbling villain running around hissing and growling at people. This version is extremely calculating and manipulative with actual plans that work. At one point, Megatron notices Predaking is getting too comfortable with the idea of leading his own army, so in order to get rid of the clones without also making an enemy out of Predaking, he lures the Autobots to Shockwave's labs so they can destroy the clones. He was smart enough to quickly discern the fact that Bumblebee was invading his subconscious just based on context clues. He even has to come up with plans on the fly that still work. He literally possessed Bumblebee on accident and used his body to revive himself. He had to physically and mentally manipulate Bumblebee in order to bring himself back to life. And the funny thing is, when he came back to life, the first thing he does wasn't killing the Autobots. His first thought was, where's Starscream? I'm finna beat his ass.
Do something! Do something!
And that's another important aspect of his character. His relationship with Starscream throughout the series is perfect. They have this obscure relationship where Starscream constantly doubts or questions Megatron's plans but never really says anything to him, while at the same time, Megatron isn't an idiot. He's aware that Starscream isn't truly loyal to him and just kind of keeps him around just because he finds it entertaining. There are moments in the show you could tell Megatron was thinking about getting rid of him, but was like, actually, this is kind of funny. How did you get yourself in this situation? You poor thing. He also beats the shit out of him. If Megatron isn't abusing Starscream, you're doing the relationship wrong. But it's gotta be valid. Messing with his plans makes sense. Mad that humans got away when the plan was to jump Optimus? Kinda random, Megatron. Another great thing about this adaptation is his relationship with Soundwave. Soundwave is the only one that he views as genuinely reliable. When they're on screen together, you could tell Megatron has complete trust in him, and for good reason. Soundwave gets shit done, and it's a character trait you could tell Megatron genuinely appreciates. He literally treats Soundwave completely different from the other Decepticons. But the most important relationship that every adaptation in Megatron absolutely needs is his relationship with Optimus. They need to feel like genuine rivals and view each other as mortal enemies, but at the same time, they should feel like two people who were once friends, and that's the vibe I get with these two. Every time they speak to each other, there's a sense of history between the two. It never feels like they're trying to figure each other out or learn new things about each other. They know each other and have known each other for a very long time, and their dialogue carries that vibe. And I love that Megatron to a certain extent respects Optimus. Deep down, he genuinely views Optimus as his equal in both strength and intelligence. He can't stand the idea of Optimus being killed by anyone but himself. He goes out of his way to warn his army not to touch Optimus because he wants to do that himself. The last character trait I feel makes this adaptation the best is his determination and willpower. If he has a plan or some kind of scheme, he will do whatever it takes to ensure that he wins. He doesn't just have confidence in himself, he genuinely believes the steps he takes in his plans will 100% lead to his victory. He views his own mental strength as the key to winning the war, and in some cases, he's right. Rarely does he ever second guess an idea or plan because he trusts himself that much. I mentioned earlier how he used Bumblebee's body to revive himself, which already takes a tremendous amount of willpower, but he also corrupted himself with Dark Energon, not knowing if it would kill him, but did it with the utmost confidence in himself. He went out of his way to replace his arm with a dead Prime so he could use the Forge of Solus Prime to create the Dark Star Saber. And the craziest part is that he willingly chose to be fully conscious during the surgery. This is a kid's cartoon. But unfortunately, I don't have the time to list out everything he did in the series, and I'm not sure that we'll ever get a Megatron as good as this ever again. We're definitely not going to get one from the new base series, but the new base series in general is going to be a topic for another day.